Hey, you just made my day a little bit better. Just because you're fit play. See how easy it is just to spread a little bit of joy in the world? Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Richard's Rant and subscribe to the vibe, comment towards our betterment. And here we begin, as usual, with a pleasant good morning to you, to yours, to all friends and sundry. As you know, the morning is the best part of the day. So, regardless of the time that you are tuning in, I always wish you that energy. And it's the best part of the day because you have just woken up and absolutely nothing has gone wrong as yet. And because most people wake up in the morning and not in the night. So, guess maybe, well, I said yes, most people. If you're a night worker, well, let the morning be whenever you wake up, all right? But thank you for tuning in. Today on Twitter, there is one trending topic. I haven't been using Twitter long enough to know if this is typical for maybe a Monday morning, Sunday night, time of the day type of thing. But yep, there's only one. No, one of 10, just the one. And the hashtag is love in this space. So let's see if this rant can qualify for that sentiment. But here's what stood out to me in the newspapers that were read. And we begin with the fact that beneath our waters, so in the sea, around our borders, right? It have more than just oil and rubbish. Apparently, we have a serious lionfish infestation. I do not understand if this is Jesus made or man made or Jesus made but man modified. But apparently, it's a pest. These fishes could lay up to 30,000 of themselves every damn month. So it's a ghetto fish. These these rants are not scripted for the most part. What foolishness. Anyway, Jesus. Listen. Sorry. Okay, but it is in addition to that high reproductive feature, that unscrupulous, natural, simply reproductive situation. It also just simply moves in, consumes, destroys without any sort of thought for the effect on other species, anything around it, or even its own future. It simply fulfills its own needs. So it is a ghetto fish. So, the correct term though is an invasive species. It's not indigenous to Trinidad. I do not know how it came here because it was not reported and I didn't independently research it. If anybody even knows how it got here. But it did not seem to be a migratory species like, say, locusts. So I guess maybe somebody buy a lionfish and it jumped out in the water and it was pregnant. That's probably how we end up on it. No offense to those that, had into the creation story and, God make us out of mud and breathe his spirit into us. But, the same way how that reach here, it's like a whole new world for it. It's the same way how we could have get through here. We are ghetto species. We just do the exact same damn thing on the land. And we killing everything. We killing everything on the land, in the air, in the sea, in the ground, things that inborn here, things that was here long before we. So yeah. So very much so. Maybe something throw away from Mars and, the Ministry of Tourism I don't know what they're doing about it. Sorry to say it like that, like I thought I did. I don't know what they're doing about it. The EMA, I don't know what they're doing about it. Planning and development, I don't know what they're doing about it. Um, I believe Fisherman and Friend is actually for fishermen, and I stand to be corrected because it have a medicine named Fisherman Friend, and it have nothing really to do with fishermen or their friends. So I stand to be corrected with the Fishermen Association thing, Fisherman and Friend actual, unless it would be funny if it is I'm actually mixing up the sweetie with something else in reality. But whoever they be, or even if they don't be the literal fishermen and friends, I still don't know what they're doing about it. But it have a group of people that was doing something about it, which is how it is we get to know anything, in my opinion, which is the Divers Association. And they were organizing an entire situation, they have a little derby, they make it nice, they make it vibesy, you jump in the water, you spear a fish. Oh, because this fish so big in your dance, it don't bite fishing line and thinger, it not about that life. You had to get down in the water and spear the mother cunt. Like literally. I assume maybe you could troll through a big net, but of course you will drag up everything that you're also trying to protect. So yeah. So you had to go down in the water and stab your lionfish. So they want good vibesy, they make a competition, who could stab the most fish. And I think that that's beautiful. I think that even that could be a good way to get some human aggression out. We have other invasive species, maybe organize tournaments so people could, well, kill them. The fish is edible, it's not like giant goldfish, and it's actually a delicacy, which was strange to me, since if it's abundant, it shouldn't be a delicacy, in my opinion. But salmon is a delicacy, so, and don't really have a shortage. A matter of fact, it being bred, so. But yeah, that's what the Divers Association was doing. And of course, something with the lockdown and the SOE affecting them. I do think it affecting them as a secondary casualty of everything else. Like, say they can't get gas. I think like they literally, oh right, the beach is closed. That's how it's affecting them. Yes, sorry. Obviously, the beach is closed. But it had something else. I just can't remember what it was. But the main one is the beach is closed. But, and they're not classified as essential. There's another one. But the actual one that I'm trying to remember is none of those. But let's move on. All right. All the ministries, I don't know what they're doing. Especially since our economy is in shit. I think that could be part of the recovery, the reopening of the border program. Yeah, big lionfish tournament in Trinidad, right to Food Network. I mean, William Monroe used to write to BET and bring people that don't know anything about soca music to sit down to listen to judge the international soca monarch, just as a marketing ploy, but also as a promotion tool for the art form. They must go back where they come from and tell people about what they see. So simple things like that. I believe, I dare say that that's one of the reasons why Trinidad is on the map among celebrities and has been mentioned in their art and music and presentations and that sort of thing. So I dare say. However, I believe, and I am taking nothing away from it. It's a good idea. It's a great idea. You know, um, and it's always easier to criticize than to create. So I think that there was a missed opportunity there, in that the foreign celebrities already know still about the art form. So what could have actually been done is a reality series with them doing activities and learning and passing stuff, um, to qualify to be the judge of the music, and it should really only be one or two of them. That's it. So you're qualifying for that spot or those two spots. If it's two, it should be a male and a female. That's it. And other than that, yeah. And the show couldn't make money off the show, could by selling it to whoever want to buy it across there. It could have been on YouTube. It could have been as part of the Soca Monarch presentation. It could have been, even part of the extended cut, the bonus features, anything like that. And not to mention create content online and on the air and for the Caribbean and that sort of thing, and be the gift that continued giving. In the same way, I would have think that the Ministry of Tourism would have gotten on board with this and have a culinary competition along with the TTHC, that sort of thing, maybe even UTT, have a culinary competition, or as far as Food Network, and have that sort of lionfish culinary competition. We already had the guy that killed himself, may he rest in peace, visit us, and we had not Mark Zuckerberg, the other guy that has eaten all the nastiness across the Andrew Zimmerman, I believe was his name. I don't want to mix them up. One was the tall, lanky Italian guy with the curly hair, and he was traveling and tasting and whatnot, and he killed himself in Paris. The other one is, I believe his name is really Andrew Zimmerman, the one that has just walked crowded across the world eating nastiness. And when he came to Trinidad, he went fishing and he decided to eat the heart out of the fish when they put it into the boat. And all the Trinidadians watch him like, you do you, dude. You do you. Don't say we just do that, we don't do that. But you do you. Yeah, you eat here like a knife. And they watch him do it in awe. But he did go and taste chicken foot, and he made that sound so exotic. And not just because it's common to us, but it is a something gelatinous, whatever creation. And it's like, just the foot of the chicken. Yeah, people don't eat it, but that is all it is. It's just the foot of the chicken, but it's boiled like a soup, no, braised, and then a broth is created and it's soaked, and it's like, dude, it's just the foot of the chicken. It's not even that weird. Like if it is, we was eating the beak, it's just the foot. It's just the foot. So that guy, yeah, he could have also been a part of it, when judges, that sort of situation. But I guess it's difficult when it is the borders closed for you to be able to function and work, especially when you're paying not cut. I mean, and then domestic tourism is probably so challenging to maintain with the police raiding even double palm, and well, of course, most of the guest houses and stuff also being closed. So I know that is probably really difficult for the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Planning and Development and the economy to really conceptualize, these things at this difficult time when they are, for the most part, at home. And because the ministries as well, they have a fixed rotation during this state of emergency for the virus that has been with us for 2 years now, that has killed an amazing amount of 600 people out of our excuse me, out of our entire population, that has killed, that 600 people that we have crippled the economy for, because there's love in this space. Actually, pause the recording there, take a moment, pat myself on the back. I'm not going to listen back to it because I'm going to criticize it. I'm going to do it over, and so yeah, so just pat myself on the back. Up 18, love in this space. All right. So the next thing that stood out And yeah, that was only one story. The next thing that stood out is that the Trinidad Central Statistical Office, they put a giant full page ad in one or two newspapers. And for me, all I got is that if they had to put an ad, if you're the Central Statistical Office, which is supposed to be the foremost authority on Trinidad and Tobago statistics in a country that has so many radio stations and is really only broken into three genres: talk radio, contemporary or adult contemporary, and ghetto, urban. So, and TV stations, and people like me, your online community, your independent people, and then you have your learned people, you have people that just home retired doing nothing and calling in the radio station. So in a country where you have people that actually want information and satisfying that need with foreign content, you have to put an ad in the papers. You ever see Google put an ad in the papers? I never noticed one. I've never noticed an ad from Google in the newspaper. I believe they home with full pay as well right now in these times. Because Daddy Rowley just love everybody, that listens to him. If you listen to Daddy, you'll be rewarded greatly. Go get your vaccine, yeah, come work in the ministry, do nothing, yeah, that kind of vibes. It's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a love in this space, it's a vibe. Terrence seemed to be doing quite well, I must say. He looks kind of Faris-ish. See him this sporting he polo and whatnot. So like wherever Faris doing, he look like he doing it. Look, he look little fit since the last time I see him. Either that's where he secretly get COVID and he lose some weight. But if not that, like it's agreeing with him. Like, he feeling alive. Like when you have a project you're working on and you feel all this influence. You feel alive. You feel alive. I like it. I like how he looking. He looking fresh. And then the European Court of Human Rights actually ruled that mandatory vaccines are not a violation of human rights. I do not understand how they came up with that, because even in the US, you had this nice ex-porn star. I believe she was a porn star. No, a lion on the girl, she wasn't a porn star. She was a Playboy bunny. So this ex-Playboy bunny, Jennifer McCarthy, with her retarded child, the child really retarded. So I think that her grouse was that she believed the vaccine made the child retarded. But that is actually one of the side effects of the vaccine, and a lot of people, when they gingerly carrying the child for it, don't really know that. But statistically, one, I did agree with her that you should be told. You just have a right to know. I understand why they would conceal information like that, because the chances are really, really small. I mean, I think it's 1 in 10 million, some ridiculous figure. I don't think it's 10 million though. But it have a 1 and plenty zeros after. One male in that ridiculous amount of figure is born with 2 dicks. And I know you wouldn't believe me, it's something ridiculous, but the one that is alive in our lifetime, or the most popular one, he's obviously going into porn. And you can Google him. Double dick dude. So he's right there. It's a real thing. And on the flip side, a slightly higher figure than the male is born with 2 vaginas. I'm really sorry for them. I'm really sorry. Dicks trump vagina always. I'm really sorry. It's just a fact. It doesn't really humbug us. It doesn't spaz out once a month for no apparent reason, and when it does spaz out, it does reward us with pleasure and not pain. So it does do everything it have to do for reproduction without shutting down the whole body, without a mucous membrane falling out or a water bag just or all this pain and stuff. It just do what it had to do and go back, relax itself. So yeah, so two dicks, two eyes of pleasure, two vaginas. Sorry for you. That's the reality. But yeah, it's a thing, and as such, that's the kind of ratio for if the vaccine might make you retarded, but you could really be the one. So it should have been told, and she was able to build an entire platform off of that, and a lot of people stopped vaccinating their children, but their campaign died because they started to see diseases that were dormant or even thought extinct popping back up in the preschool population. Like the last time somebody get, let me say, smallpox, it was little Theophilus. But here we have little Aiden getting smallpox and rubella and all kind of damn shit, right? Ermin was the last person to really went to school and come back home with rubella, right? But we have Chloe coming home with rubella. That was unprecedented. So that was enough for people to say, fuck it, we go take the risk. However, it would say that is only the unvaccinated ones really getting it. Huh? Yes, the vaccines do not make you immune, but it don't really fret up your soul so much. So the ones that was really getting sick is the ones who, yeah, so six of one, half a dozen of the other, and people relax themselves. But they should have been told. They should have been told. Yeah? The same thing would apply with COVID, except that you have a more developed adult immune system, which interestingly is not really that. What's the word I'm looking for? As to compare to when you're younger, it's more receptive and adaptable. When you're older, it kind of almost set in its ways. As far as I understand, because clearly I have a doctor degree now, but as far as I understand, your immune system really develops first in utero from your mom. So everything that your mom battled to be alive to get breed does be in her genes, and she does be teaching your genes, well, this is what, just like how she might teach you to cook. Not to be sexist, just it's still traditional female caretaker role, right? Most of the chefs of the world are men, not to be sexist, but the same way that she might teach you to cook, 2 eggs, half cup of butter, is the same way her immune system does teach you. When you see rubella, well, that's what you do, right? 2 eggs, half thing, right? That is what is going in utero. Breast milk does help fortify what happens when you're now born, and in that time period, wherever chuck you, your immune system does do a little meet and greet. Hi, where's your name? My name is, immune system. What are you? Oh, you look like, so you're a bacteria, bitch. I hear about you when I was inside the stomach. So come, let me kill you. Come this way. When we are walking, right? And that's also another reasons why children just do stupid things, like lick everything. Yes, is also to learn about the environment, but it's sorry, not really. It also is to pick up germs to learn to survive. And of course, that is a big counterproductive nature risk that if it is you're born with a crappy immune system, you go dead from the jump. But that's also because nature kind of wants you to dead, like Viking style, because it means that you're gonna make some weak children. We don't want you. Or nature probably created you for food for something else. But oh my god, humans, so horrible. Can every life is important. All 600 that we shut down the country for, every life is important. Every. Yes. And actually, I do mean that every life is important. But so the Alsing seems to be feeling validated by the European Union coming up with what I think is either printed and reported out of context or something that really fucking unsettling. Really is. The next one that stood out to me is that Stuart seemed to be, handling himself, Stuarted in the as in like stunting, but Stoughton in his ministry. He seemed to be developing a nice reputation. I like it, Old St. Mary's student as well. I like it. I like it. Not too bad, not too bad. Um, I'd like for him to take care of himself, though. Sometimes he does look like he's trying to grow a beard. He just ain't shave. The hair looking a little thin. He gain weight, he lose weight. He's a young man. You should take care of yourself. You can't have the daddy dancing looking better than you in a polo. Just saying. But he's taught he's taught nice. He tell all them energy companies is either you use the territory that we map out for you that you say you wanted, or we go take it back. And I like it for two reasons. One, the economy needs to be stimulated, and we're still very much oil and gas dependent. Find something, we need something, you need the money, right? That's one. Two, the world moving away from fossil fuels. We don't have time for you to TTV your lily all over the place. You need to get anything and extract it. Even if it is the whole of Mayaro had a sinking because of the wherever causing it and the we need it now. Yeah? You'd have an American advertisement with that. Is my money and me. It's my money and I need it now. Peach tree or some kind of thing. We're in the same boat. We need it now. Yeah? We gotta deal with the rest. But we need it now. So I like it. I must say, I like it. Meanwhile, speaking about money, that man that does look like a rotten Zabaka, kind of white, quaily face one that when it is I hear little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and ways, I just think about his face. The curds and ways. Imbit. He is looking to increase the age of pension from 60 to 65. Now, you see the thing with this dude, right, is that he actively say that, hey, fuckers, I raised the gas once and all they take it, right? So I said, well, I'm gonna raise it again, and nobody really say nothing. Because now all they're looking to protest, so now I'm try not to raise it a third time, but I say, oh, they're cool with the shit. So if we're not cool with the 60 to 65, now is the time. I don't know how I personally feel about it because retirees kind of cripple the economy. And I'm all for, your work and all that, but that's not how it works in Trinidad. Oil and gas give us a nice, robust social welfare system. And just because you live to that age, you get rewarded from the government like it's a scholarship until you're dead. And I don't know how I feel overall about it. Of course, I'm not in any way suggesting it stop at all. But I am suggesting that maybe you work for it. You're old, but you're not dead, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Except, you're older and you have a higher risk for this, that, and the other. Maybe you're more vulnerable to things, you might take longer to heal from things. But you mightn't even be near the end of your life at 60. If it is you're going to live to be 100, that's 40 years. You know how much people don't live 40 years from 0 to 40? So it's not even really the end of your life necessarily. It's not even a death sentence. So I think that they should be working for it in some way. I don't know, maybe a mandatory prison. It would be good to pause there, but maybe like a mandatory prison. Where's what they're looking for? Prison program, because it would have been volunteer prison, but it's not volunteer. So like mandatory, with the going, with a piece of wood, a grater, let the prisoners and old school discipline. Now, what is you doing in here? These are your parents. Go on the grater. Look too big stone. That kind of thing. Get in the prison with a piece of wood. Of course, it have guards and all that, but you get in the prison, and then they could also teach them to make sugar cake, todom ball, tamarind ball, tell stories of the past, maybe inspire them. And most of the people that find themselves in criminal activity are those that have behavioral issues because of a poor familial upbringing. So they could even kind of provide that by providing a link between themselves and just their country. And they could see themselves as part of a family, not a gang, but the family being the country. And them even willingly redirecting their brains that way, it could help with the behavioral issues and actually what prison's supposed to be rehabilitation and put them back out into society, not to necessarily be repeat offenders, or to at least be better at it without being better criminals, so to speak. Like, they get more devious and they learn to kill people and deserve them while they was in prison. But they learn to get what they want illegally without killing people. So better at it. One of the two. Either one is fine with me. In a capitalist society, crime is a natural element, a natural feature. So I have already come to terms with it. Yeah, something like that. Or maybe mandatory service in the state run children homes and the children authority. They could even be some sort of mandatory teaching or teachers or after school programs, after school homework centers, which would be fantastic for them because it'll keep the cognitive reasoning going and keep them current and up to date and something to do and all this kind of thing. So, some sort of a program. It could even be a little bit strenuous. It could be. They could have gardening, or it could even be passive aggressive and a bit traumatizing. They could be in charge of the cemetery. So if you see a cemetery in Trinidad, yes, is under the regional corporation, but they could be there decorating and gardening. Everybody have a plot, that kind of thing. I wouldn't necessarily say definitely do that one because I don't know what it feels like to know. Yes, you always know that you could die, but to know, like, know that I could, I don't know if, but it might be good because in facing the fear too, they actually live longer. By knowing that you could die, you actually propel to live. So, who knows? But I don't think that you should just get it. And the same goes for public assistance and all of that. Even if it is you can't work, you could do something. I mean, you're collecting your money, so it must have something that you could do. It must have something, some skill. Even if you're autistic, if you have Asperger's, it must have something you could do. Otherwise, it'd be just messing with nature, and nature obviously made this person to be food. So, but it must have something you could do. If it's art, if it's puzzles, if it's coding, computer programming, it must have something that you could do. If it's just for you to sit down and watch the traffic cameras and press a button, look something going on, it must have something that you could do. You know? And these things are not jobs, so it will not have the same strenuous things 8 to 4, yeah, they call in sick. It would not have those rules. It could be like how government workers does unofficially work, but officially. Anything like that, but it doesn't have to have this dependency shit. It could even be voluntary in a sense, like you come to this particular ministry with a proposal as to what you're gonna do this year, this month, or this quarter, and it get approved, kind of thing. Could be your idea. All of that could work. Yeah. But nobody really cares about these things. So what we will do though is look to just increase it ad hoc because as it have an aging society and that sort of thing, it's just a burden on the economy. 5 years would make a big difference, that kind of thing. But if you all don't want it, my point is you need to stop it. So I was not yearning for content today at all, but I think I've taken up enough of your time for this particular rant. So there will be a part 2, and I dare say for the first time, maybe a part 3, because I'm looking at these points as well. Nevertheless, I stay tuned to find out how much parts happened. But thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Richard's Rant. Love in the space. And subscribe to the vibe. Please comment towards our betterment. Anything that I say was shit, completely wrong, nonsensical in particular, please correct me. That's what I mean by comment towards our betterment. And anything that you liked or whatnot, yeah, please support me. Support us. It is a team, but some people really like to be behind the scenes and they could be verbally abusive. Show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. So it's not a cry for help. It's just what it is. Subscribe to the vibe and comment towards our betterment. Have a great rest of your day. Vibes.